Hey guys, PrinceofMacedon here, doing a commentary video for the Barbarian Invasion expansion for Rome Total War. And this is the rematch, because in the last Barbarian battle, my opponent wanted a rematch, and I gave it to him. I'm using the same exact army that I used as the Western Roman Empire. My opponent changed his army, he's now using the Celts. In the last battle, he used the Franks, and he went for a high quantity army. Using a lot of crappy troops, but he put upgrades on them. Kind of the same situation here. Let me show you my army first, because in the last video I didn't really get to go into depth about my army. I went for 5 committed tenses, no upgrades. These guys, these are like your main infantry types. You also have your plumetarii, but I opted for the committed tenses. Then I have 6 Sarmatian auxilia, those are my cav units. I'm going to race ahead and scout those trees ahead of me, because my opponent could have deployed there, so I want to make sure he did not. And finally, I have my archer force. I have 6 units of these guys. And you guys were wondering, why didn't I upgrade my army? Well, as you guys know, I always change my army. Like, I'll use crappy troops sometimes. Sometimes I use super small but heavily upgraded army. Sometimes I'll use a non-upgraded army like this. Plus, when I saw my opponent's desire for using a high quantity army, because you can actually see how many troops he has in the troop purchase screen, I did not want to be outflanked, because even if my opponent uses a lot of troops non-upgraded, then he can still easily outflank and encircle me if I have a very small army. So I did not want to do that. I opted for a similar sized army with no upgrades. My opponent does have upgrades on his army, but he still has a lot of crappy troops. He decided not to opt for any archers whatsoever, which I'm going to take advantage of. Oh, by the way, I scouted the forest here, and I found out that the enemy is not here. So my opponent is down here. He has 4 Galaglass, 8 Picture Spears with varying amounts of upgrades, 4 Noble Clansmen, those are his cav, they're over here. These guys. He has 4 of these squadrons. They look pretty cool. Then he has 2 units of Wolfhounds. I think he's hiding his wolves right now. But these are his Galaglass, they look pretty cool. And let me show you his Pictish Spearmen. This is actually a good choice, using Pictish Spearmen, just because I have so much cav. These guys can actually fight my horses pretty well. So yeah, he does have some amount of upgrades. Anyways, I was pretty sure my opponent would deploy up here, because he changed the maps from the last battle. This is Sierra Nevada, so I thought he would fight for this piece of terrain here, but instead he opted to deploy at the bottom of the hill. So I'm going to make sure I dominate this portion first, make sure I clear this forest of any ambush units, and as you can see there are no ambush units here, so I'm safe. So I'm going to proceed down, fight my opponent on level terrain down here. We're going to fight down here where it's level. But yeah, you'd be surprised how many people are very careless about scouting. Like, even though there's all these trees here, some people will opt not to even scout those out. It takes like, what, 30 seconds to scout this out? And that could save you in the long run, because some people like to ambush. I do that sometimes. Sometimes I don't. But I always make sure that I scout out any ambush points. And you guys will see me when I don't scout. Like, I'm always in for a nasty surprise. I mean, it doesn't work, but it's still a nasty surprise. But yeah, these are my awesome Sarmatian auxilia. Pretty cool looking, huh? So, here is the situation. My opponent's deployed back here. I think you can see his Wolfhounds now. Nope. Not yet. They're in the middle of these trees here. But anyways, I'm coming downhill. I'm going to put my left wing of Sarmatian auxilia right here at the foot of this hill. I'm basically going to throw a noose around my opponent's neck and tighten it really hard. Alright, these are the Wolfhounds. And they don't really look like wolves to me. But perhaps Wolfhounds, perhaps? But yeah, at about this point, I realized my opponent has no archers, so yeah, I'm just gonna progress slowly down here, systematically, and I'm gonna use my range advantage to just destroy my opponent. But as you'll see, my advance is very systematic and very deliberate. He's gonna come down. So I got my cav in pretty good position over here. And my right wing cav are hidden in these trees here. I was fairly certain my opponent saw me do that. Like right now, these guys are hidden. I mean, they don't look like they're hiding, but they actually are. You can read that on the description. It says they're hiding. Anyways, my opponent's gonna swing his cav around. See these guys, his clansmen? Yeah, my opponent's already by the border here. And we'll take a close-up look at these guys. Might as well, since we hardly get to see these expansions. I want to do a lot of close-ups here. I had a live commentary version of this game, but I figured you guys want to see close-ups because you guys never see these units. So this is when I was wondering if my opponent forgot that I put my cav up there, because he is running rather carelessly up this hill. And there's only 2 of them, so I decide, hey, I'm gonna trap my opponent here. He's on my hill, I'm gonna trap him on this hill, and I'm gonna kill him. That was my battle plan. He's gonna try to run back down, but I'm gonna cut off his escape route with these guys. See this? His guys are already winded from all that running uphill. So I'm gonna use my formations here to cut off his escape route. Then I'm gonna pounce from all sides here. Let's watch this up close. Sarmatians versus Klansmen. These guys start to rout. And fortunately for me, none of his guys escape. They're just completely trapped in this noose here. And they will be cut down to the last man and last horse. Hip hip hooray! So, already I have a huge advantage over my opponent now. He really should have bought archers though. But since he has all those spears, I have to be very careful about just tossing in my cav at him, because those spears can't hurt my cav arm. But yeah, so instead of that, I'm just gonna progress slowly up here, and I'm gonna use my archer advantage to the utmost. Like, if you have an advantage in any kind of unit type, then maximize on it. Don't squander your advantages just because you think your opponent might not like it. I mean, isn't that the whole point of war, is to take advantage of your assets and just make certain that your opponent doesn't have any opportunities to attack you? So that's what I'm doing. My opponent's swinging his cav around this way. And now my archers are in range. At least this unit right here is. I got my left wing cav over there. I'm swinging them down, you can see. And I got my archer shooting at these guys now. Just harassing them. Like, I'm not going to take down too many from the front, but the fact is, I am shooting him, and that's pretty demoralizing. Just to see your unit card being showered with arrows, because there's nothing you can do about it. It's a feeling of helplessness that you want your opponent to feel. So my opponent's bringing his cav over here in response to my cav winning on this wing. So my guys are pretty, they're still in pretty good shape. This one's down to 37 from 54. But aside from that, it's a pretty healthy amount of horses over here. So then I'm going to push these guys forward even more. That way I can get these archers firing too. Show him some of that Western Roman might. So this will compel my opponent to come forward, because he's not just going to sit there and take it. So here's my opponent. He's trapped on this border here. Hey, where's the border at? I thought it was closer than that. Here it is. Ah, never mind. He had plenty of room to retreat. So my opponent's gonna start the fight now. He's gonna bring up his Galaglass and his Wolfhounds, and the rest of his troops here, because he knows if he just sits there, he's gonna be down considerably if he just sits there and lets my archers do their dirty work. So here come the Wolfhounds. Let's see how my committed tenses respond to this. They're like, "Here, boy, come fetch." Gonna chop those dogs down like they're nothing. My opponent's gonna swing some cav around, take out my archers. That's cool. He can have some of my archers because I'm gonna take his cav once my Sarmatians get over here. Here they come. Sarmatians to the rescue. There's a big fight here. And I've got my left wing cav strolling around his back line here. And that's pretty much game over. But there's still going to be a fight to be had. Look at those long swords that the Galaglass wield. Pretty intimidating. So we've destroyed his clansmen on this side. He has another unit of clansmen. But with my left wing cav, I took out his Wolfhounds in the back. Now I'm going to come forward here and just attack his men from behind. He killed his general too. And this rear charge is going to rout this huge body of Celtic warriors. I'm just going to try to catch my Sarmatians with his Pictish spears. And pretty much the battle here. He has some more troops that are still resisting over here, but they're not going to last too long. But we will watch a close-up because it's cool watching close-ups of a game that you barely see. Oh, there's one more unit over here.
This is a moment of triumph to savor. Roman arms have crushed the enemy!
Roman arms have crushed the enemy! So anyways, my opponent wasn't too happy about this battle. He blamed my hill advantage for my victory here. And he also blamed the fact that he lost his general. But anyways, good game to my opponent. And I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary video, and I unplugged my webcam just so that I can get better audio for the commentary. Hopefully you guys enjoy that more, because I hate the way my voice sounds when it's recorded from my webcam. Pretty annoying. Anyways, I'll see you guys later, and I'll always be on the lookout for more battles in Barbarian Invasion.